Hey, welcome back to Trading Tea. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about TV shows. Last time we talked about movies, and this time talking about our favorite shows, shows that are out now, shows that are coming out in the future, shows that we've watched in the past. And yeah, Angelo, let's get started with some of the TV shows that we're going to cover today.
Okay, you want me to start off a couple of shows that we have been recently watching, or
Um, and we could start with stuff that we watched when we were younger, and then stuff now.
ooh, I like it. Okay, so let's go. Once upon a wee little lad. No, but really, like growing up as a kid, I feel like TV was such a great thing to have. It kind of like make you escape to like your alternate universe. Like you like
Hmm.
kind of had like these like superheroes or like idols that you like looked up to besides watching any like sports with your family. But like
Yeah.
even like I know I remember watching Sonic the Hedgehog every Saturday when I was over your house,
Mm.
or like Pokemon, like the Indigo League, like the first one, and you watch like when Ash gets Pikachu for the first time, and like Pikachu was
Yeah.
like a brat in the sense of, and like you always want like, oh my god, I want one, and then
Yeah, well, it's funny because Ash was kind of a brat too with Dr.
yeah,
Oak when like the first
hmm
episode. He's like, why didn't I get a nice Pokemon, whatever. But then he eventually becomes friends with Pikachu, and he goes and finds all of the other starters,
hmm
throughout the
right,
first
right,
couple episodes.
yeah, and then like so like not even like or like Digimon as well, which I think that's still an underrated show because
Yeah,
I feel like it got overshadowed by like it was got beaten by like Pokemon. I think there was like way more other animes at that time that like only a few know about Digimon, and it
yeah.
doesn't get the credit where it's due.
I don't think so either. The thing with Digimon, and I have another friend who I've talked to about this at length, is that the animation and the TV show itself, like the content of it, the characters, all of that, are actually way better. The
Mm-hmm.
storylines are better, character development's better, all that. But they didn't market enough with the games. And Pokemon itself was able to sell itself brand wise as
Mm-hmm.
game first, then the anime, and that's kind of how the cookie crumbled, as they say, right? Pokemon won out
Mm-hmm.
that battle, but
Well,
it's
yeah,
still a
like
great show.
there was a couple of good games that Digimon made. Like I know we're a little off topic, but like on the PlayStation one, like you had like whatever Digimon you had, and he followed you around, but you
Mhm.
didn't have a team. It was just that one Digimon.
Yeah, well, I played one. And again, still off topic, but I really enjoyed this game. It's for the GameCube, I think.
Oh, I know exactly
Uh,
what you're talking about. It's kind of
yeah,
like
we
the
could.
Super Smash esque to it. Like you basically
Well,
just
yeah, there was that one too, and I really liked that game. But there was also another one that was like an action RPG, kind of like a top-down,
mm-hmm.
uh, kind of third-person like adventure game, and you could play with friends together, and you'd be one of like four starters from the second or third season, and you just have like axes or like swords or like whatever, and just fight in dungeons and attack giant Digimon. Really fun
Oh
game.
yes, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Exactly. Yes. Oh my god, that's like. But yeah, going back, it's just like I just feel like Digimon and Pokemon is like such a great shows. Come on, like even like Dragon Ball Z too, like or Dragon Ball, like all those shows combined. That you could talk about Dragon Ball all day long with anyone because they all watched it when they were a little kid in our generation. And then
Yeah.
after that, then you talk about Pokemon. They still talk about Pokemon from current because they just kept on going. And I think Digimon stopped after like in middle school, like after like the
They
GameCube
stopped
series.
after like season five, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was
They
just
came out with
nine.
another one where like they all got older, but it just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that good. So,
Yeah, they all got older, and I still enjoyed it because I think that was the third gen. Yeah, it was the third gen, and then they made a couple more after that, and then they kind of like died off because the viewers were in there, which makes sense.
yeah.
But like it's long overdue. But whatever. I'm not too worried about that anymore. Um,
Neither am I.
but
Yeah,
now
but
it's like
when I
the
was
shows.
younger,
Mhm.
definitely Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I was always watching that with you and even with my dad. Um, and it was just funny, and it was funny if you were a kid, and it was funny if you were an adult, because they had jokes in there that you wouldn't really understand unless you had a very good command of culture or the English language itself.
Okay.
So it's like it had something for everyone. Um, and I remember at the end of each episode there was like a segment called Sonic Says, where he would be like, "Hey kids, don't do drugs," or "Hey kids, don't talk to strangers," or "Hey kids, stay in school." Like he would like give these tips out. And it was always really funny, but at the same time, like it kind of made sense in terms of the timing of when that show was released, where uh, pretty much all TV shows for young people were kind of pushing the whole like, "Hey, stay in school, don't do drugs," all that stuff.
Well, they're always going to try to push that as well. They don't want anyone to just go mimic the shows and then get in trouble for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's all about disclaimers at this point. Um,
yeah. But I really liked it. The
or
the show was really funny, and even those parts were, I mean, they could get serious, but they were pretty funny sometimes.
well, besides like okay, so like those kind of shows that you had, like Sonic the Hedgehog's, Pokemon, Digimon, like all the stuff that we kind of talked about already. Now
Hmm.
we get older, and like the Cartoon Network, kind of like that series. Like after that, like the only one that really stuck out, besides like Bob Burgers or whatever like that, like it's Rick and Morty. And I haven't watched like season 4, but like I feel like Rick and Morty just is like the a new thing, and just like everyone's on ship on it because it's about like this whole open universe, but they have no lines. I
Hmm.
feel like to cross, like they could just cross any line and no one can say anything about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, don't feel bad about not seeing season 4 yet. I haven't seen it yet either.
Well, no, I'm
Uh,
not. I'm not saying I feel bad. It's just like I want to because like Rick and Morty is such a great show.
yeah, it's a great show. Great show. I want to see season 4 as soon as it's released somewhere I can see it. Uh,
And
but
viewers, please don't spoil it for us. Like they'll comment like, "Oh, this is what happens in season 4." Please don't. We want to see it.
yeah,
We
yeah, we
we
want
don't
to
have
see it.
time to. It's just like we just want to link up how Rick and Morty like it's the new way of like watching like these like Americanized right cartoons,
Hmm.
and I know it's like different than like we've talked about anime before, but it's like I feel like it's a different kind of as because like you have Rick and Morty is more like the stupid funny, but like has like alternate universe and space time continuum, going to different planets and different like adds a little bit of science to it, but then it's also you have a drunk scientist doing all this stuff.
Yeah, and he's like
Which
drinking
he
some of
takes
the potions that he's making. You know.
and like all that stuff like you can't do. But then also he brings his grandson involved with every adventure that he goes into, basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that show itself is such an enigma, and I think it would be so cool to just even be listening in on the writers' room,
Mm.
uh, kind of like thinking, understanding the process that they go through to decide, okay, here's the scene, and here's what they're going to talk about, and here's what's going to happen. All that stuff, because they talk about a lot of like existentialist stuff, and they get really serious about everything, but then they're just like, no, everything doesn't matter. It's just kind of all a joke. Like when they were watching TV from a different dimension.
Hmm. Or I really want to know one thing. I'm still like Mr. Meeseek. I want to know in the writer room. I really want to know. It's like okay, we're gonna create this character called Meeseek,
Hmm.
and their only function is they have to help you. If not, they get into this like the most destructive person in the whole entire world after a day. Like to have
Yeah,
that creativity to think that
right.
it
It's like
is
they're
it's
not
like a
supposed to
whole,
exist that long.
yeah. Then we have the conspiracy of the Simpsons. The owner is a time traveler. That
The
like
Simpsons.
legit, yeah, the Simpsons. If you actually watch a lot of the episodes, that
Uh
they'll link up certain stuff that happens in the future, but it'll be like something that happened in the 2000s that will happen like somewhere time today, and you can
Okay.
find that on YouTube. Like, hey, like Simpsons time traveler facts or whatever, or like coincidence. I think not. Whatever stuff that you could think of,
some kind of
and legitimate. It's like,
conspiracy.
yeah, it's just like people going on and just like, yeah, this episode that came out in 2005 with Trump being president and beating a woman, and it was just like, oh, okay, like
Right.
how did that happen? And then legitimate, like no one ever knew that. It was like, and then legitimate, what happened? You have Trump beating Hillary Clinton, like,
Yeah, that was kind of spooky, I would say.
and it's like other stuff too. So it's like it's something that you have to watch on after the episode or whatever. It's just weird to think that because how like factual it can get.
Yeah, I mean that's really eerily close to the truth, right? Where Donald Trump beats a woman in a bid for the presidency.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
just like, what the hell happened?
So you're saying there's like a Rick and Morty connection to The Simpsons?
Well, I'm saying like in the connection of like that whole American esque kind of like anime cartoon ish. That
Mhm.
it's like you watch Simpsons and like you don't have to watch it from episode one to the last season. Like it feels like you could just watch it in any episode you really wanted to. The character, it's just like kind of like you watch it like you know you won't miss anything. You
Yeah,
just
it's
miss
episodic.
like yeah, it's very like you just miss the jokes or any funny parts that happened in the last episode. That's it.
Yeah.
Or you like you won't miss a plot or like if you watch like one of the shows that are like currently I'm watching like if you watch The Flash or The Arrow, if you miss one or two episodes, you're like okay what did I miss like it's
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
like you
There's
can't
an
just
over
jump in.
Yeah, there's no strong overarching storyline. Not to say
Mhm.
that there isn't like a
No,
story,
there is
but
a storyline.
like
It's just
it's
they
like you said,
expand
you
it
can
out.
just yeah, you can enter in at any point really.
Hmm. But besides that, what kind of shows have you been watching or trying to keep up?
Trying to keep up. I mean, I just finished I just finished Grimm with my
Yeah.
wife, Maya.
Hmm.
And that was kind of recent, I would say. Um, it's a great show. I thought it was very close to Supernatural, but the way they
Hmm.
did it, where it was like they weren't traveling around as much
It was just
as
they
they were
stay
in
in one place.
Supernatural. Yeah, yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting, and I mean I don't want to spoil anything if people haven't watched Grimm, even though it's an old show, and if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest that you watch it.
Hmm. Oh, such a
Um,
great show.
yeah, but the twist of like the end of season 4, kind of around season 5.
Hmm.
I just my wife and I just didn't expect
That to
those
happen.
characters to change. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
those characters to change that in that way. So
Well, yeah, for the viewers who are listening or watching this, like Grimm is basically like your supernatural show that basically the cop, he's a Portland cop that he has his
Nick Burke.
ancestors, Nick Burhart, his ancestors are hunters, or in the sense of they can see people to like their beasts or like they could be like a wolf, like a werewolf in the sense but like they look at normal people but he can see them like show their true identity of like
Hmm.
even their I feel like what was the were beasts
Volga.
yeah they see when they're
Well,
bold
Volga
bad
was the action of yeah.
yeah.
Volga was action of actually showing like your true identity as a beast creature or something like a man beast. But
Mhm.
um, what was the actual word for those people? Um, Vesson.
Besson, yeah,
Yeah,
beast.
yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, so that's why I was just like, and basically the whole episode is like him honing in on his ancestors' powers and able to see that, and basically like, but like he became has a moral compass in the later show, showing like, hey, these people are good, these people are bad, like only kill for the bad people, hunt them
Yeah,
away. It's
yeah.
like,
Well, because the lineage of the Grimms was just like murder all of us and all beastmen, no matter who they are. No matter what the situation is. But since he's a cop, you're right. Yeah, he makes the decision there.
and he became friends with a couple of the best, like everyone besides like his partner and another guy, and that's it.
Hmm. Yeah. So again, just to reiterate, highly suggest,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great for marathons because it's a long series.
Yeah, and it's already done, so you go watch it and binge it
Yeah.
and finish it in a weekend. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can weekend warrior it.
Hmm.
But like, is there anything else besides that?
Yeah. I kind of like it's an old show, and I was really surprised to learn that they're coming out with a new season very very soon. Vikings.
Oh my god,
Uh,
love
yeah.
it.
So I think it was released originally in 2013.
Hmm.
Um, it was a while ago. It's like seven years ago. And at first I was watching another show um, that was kind of around the same time and kind of about similar characters. Uh, but then I watched. I can't remember the name of the show for the life of me, so I'm not going to get into it. But Vikings itself, like it was so interesting to hear the story of Ragnar Lothbrok and uh, his brother.
Rolo.
Remember? Yeah, Rollo, Count Rollo.
Yeah, Count
um,
Rolo, Duke of
yeah,
France.
and then yeah, and his Ragnar's son Bjorn. Uh, it's just like it was so interesting to see how the story progresses each season, and then eventually, like the main characters themselves kind of change,
Hmm.
or like the main people who are being followed by the series
Hmm.
changes. Um, Very brutal, very gory. So if you can't handle that,
Well,
I would
yeah,
suggest,
but like
you know,
Vikings. Let's go with that disclaimer. It's in the
yeah,
Vikings age that
yeah.
gory and bloody, and you see all the stuff that happens in the Viking age. They capture it really well. That like
Oh,
you watch the bloody, like the eagle, like the bloody
yeah,
eagle,
the
like
Blood
kind of
Eagle.
carving in and like taking out the bones. Like you have to see that. If you can't stomach it, like that's the whole season of blood, gore, sex, and all that stuff in that show. And I feel like with Vikings, like you need to stomach it. If not, don't watch it. Watch My Little Pony.
Which My Little Pony.
Watch
I mean,
My Little
that's a big
Pony.
jump. It's a big
Like,
jump, but
but I'm just saying, like, if you can't muster that, just just stay with that genre.
yeah. But I mean, if you're into, war and blood and
Oh,
strategy and sex,
that's
then yeah,
number
great
one.
show, great show. So, um, yeah, I really like. They also I was surprised when I was watching the show because when I watched it from your suggestion, I thought it was just gonna be about the fighting, just gonna be about the wars and the
That's
sex
what I
and the
thought
whatever,
as well.
the
But then
conquering.
it's
But
actually
then when they started, like when you got into Ragnar interacting with other leaders, in other lands, not just the English king, but maybe the king in Northumbria or
yeah,
when they were
X's.
encountering Francia.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, then they're
he,
actually talking
they
the
got
king
into
of.
like super philosophical and theological
Mhm.
debates or discussions. Um,
And it was funny because like Ragnar Lothbrok, if you actually read it, like it's no one has like the history of him. Like some people still think it's just all stories about
mm,
Ragnar Lothbrok, but then legitimate Rollo, Bjorn, all those are or Ivar are all characters, and they're like people who actually wrote stories about them. While Ragnar, they still are iffy with him that either that he was a folklore or an actual human being no one knows.
right, right.
Like that's why like and like there's always like there's not even always like there's other shows either on Netflix or Hulu whatever. Like on Netflix they had like The Last Kingdom. That's also
That's
really
the
good.
one. That's the one I was talking about.
Watch it. It's
Yeah.
actually really good. I still like it. And then also as well as
I'm saying I
Northway. It's
finished it.
more. Oh, you finished it? Okay.
Well, I watched
Yeah.
Last Kingdom first, and that was interesting because Last Kingdom was where Alfred, the grandson in Vikings,
Yeah.
was the king, right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool like how they interchangeable. And then also they had like Norsemen. There's another thing on Netflix that's
Yeah, I tried
really
watching it. I tried
it's
watching it.
it's not as serious as your Vikings and Last Kingdom. It's more like your It's funny, kind of like a little parody coming along with it.
I would say, yeah, I would say it's like a farce or like a parody for sure.
But like, it's if you still want to watch them like Viking, you love that Viking era, watch it. No complaints. Just watch it. Just
Yeah.
watch it and like, understand like it's going to be more of a parody. It's not your seriousness. So
Mm-hmm.
I that's what I personally believe in like that. Like there's other shows like other superheroes or other war stuff. Like I like if you like Netflix series, watch Marco Polo. There's only 2 seasons of it, and that's like
Mm.
legitimate talks about like how Marco Polo like not even travel. They kind of like bend the truth of what was going on. That his dad was a traitor, he was a traitor, and he had to stay. And which that was like all that stuff was fact, like what he had learned in the Mongol Empire. They kind of like why it ended. So one was falsified, and two, it was like not enough viewers watching it. So I
That's why
personally
I
liked
ended
it.
abruptly.
Yeah, abruptly after season 2. I think they want to make it a couple more because Marco Polo was such a key figure in the silk trade that he helped
Yeah.
out the whole trade from the east to the west, or
Mm-hmm.
the west to the east, east to the west, whatever how you want to look at it. But like he helped that a lot. But with that, it's kind of hard. But we try to not go with going more into details about that.
Yeah, maybe they will bring it back. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Might be talks about it. I still have yet to see it, so it's on my list. Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
watch it. So
you can watch it probably in a couple of days. Oh, and then, or like the Medici family with um so Rob Stark, he's in it.
uh
He's one of the
oh,
Medicis, and like you actually
okay.
can watch, and that's actually really good too because I actually
Wait,
like
show
really. There's a show on Netflix
the
called
Medici,
Medici.
the Medici.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and
Was
and
that
you
in Assassin's Creed?
it's parts of it, yeah, but not like what's it called? Saying like why he is like all trying to fight like within the family or other families that are attacking his family and his banks. So it
Mm-hmm.
actually like and it's all about like during the Renaissance. So like if you love like the artwork and like the city and how like they've reborn, they actually brought everything back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot his name who played Rob Stark. He plays in other shows now too. He's such a fantastic actor that like yeah, his main is um Rob Stark, but he's in Medici. He's also in The Bodyguard, which is also a fantastic show. And that's on Netflix
Yeah,
if you want to watch that.
you recommended that to me. I gotta watch that. Yeah.
What was another one? Another really good like action packed. Um, Jack Ryan, the
Right.
guy in
Yeah, that one
Office,
too.
Jim. He's the one main character. He's like a CIA agent, and he
Mm-hmm.
basically follows the money with these big bad guys, and he's trying to take them down. And action packed. Like you had like some like your like CSI like spy stuff and like trying to gather information. Then you go
Mm-hmm.
into gun blazing and you're trying to like trying to get the bad guy in front of people. So
Right.
like
Right.
you get everything.
Okay.
That's what I feel like with all those stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, speaking of action, have you ever watched Gotham?
Oh, love Gotham. Like Gotham is such a like if any DC people are watching this now, Gotham I feel like it's a must watch just because not even like it's how all these villains came about during um Jim Gordon era, like when he was going as a PO to go to his rank as when he was helping out the Batman, and you see Bruce Wayne such a scrawny little kid, and seeing how
Mm-hmm.
they all develop and like how they what happens. Like you had the Penguin, he was young, the Riddler, Poison Ivy, Catwoman or Catgirl, and
Right.
it's
At
just
that
like just
point, not
watch
yet
their
Catwoman.
backstory. And I think that was such a great thing because they didn't have a backstory. Like in Batman, like yeah, you read the comics, they did have the backstory, but you watch like the
Yeah.
Batman,
Yeah.
their backstory was very slim, very small. Hey, he was grew up in this part of town, in this part of Gotham. He had this, and that's it.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it was very vague.
the person in the Batman movies who had the most background was Batman himself, right?
Yeah, of
Because you
course.
see him from through all the
Hmm.
movies.
So that's why like Gotham basically became the show of all the villains and their backstories and how they terrorized the town of Gotham or the city of Gotham.
Yeah.
So that I think, but like all those like superhero shows, like you could just list them all. Like even all the Marvels now they're in Disney, but like Daredevil,
Oh
Iron
right.
Fist,
Yeah.
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, which you could take away that he's not a superhero, but he's more like a vigilante or
Yeah,
AKA
but I mean
Punisher.
Daredevil too
He
is
basically
not.
takes the
You know,
justice system in his own hands. So you
yeah.
can call it however you want, but he is the law.
Right.
And then you go into then you got the CW shows like The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, DC Legends, and I love how they all intermingle in the sense of instead of making like a whole new series like what they did in Marvel, like the Defenders, and brought like
Hmm.
Luke Cage, Daredevil all together,
Right.
they just
Right.
kind of do like a crossover each season, and then like 1 week will just be that crossover episode.
Are you talking about with like DC?
The
Because I've
CW,
seen I've seen
yeah,
episodes
they're
of
all DC
Flash
still.
where like
Yeah,
yeah
the Arrowverse.
yeah yeah
So they basically have like 1 week of that's a crossover. So Supergirl will be in the Flash, Arrow, and DC all in other like, and they will all intermingle just for that week, and after that they go back to their own storyline and
right right.
their own planet or time frame, whatever you want to
Hmm.
call it, what episode. Um, and that's what I love about that because one, Flash is like my favorite superhero, and he is just a straight up G. I'm very biased, but
What
like
makes you
what?
biased?
Well, because he's my favorite superhero, and just watching him, and I think I think the actor who plays the Flash should have played the Flash in the DC Justice League movie.
Okay.
I didn't like who they got from for the movie. Well, that's another story and whatever.
The movie with yeah yeah we can talk about that later.
Um, but that it's just that's what I feel. I feel like with the Flash. But like those kind of movies, like if you like those kind of movies, like the superhero movies, you have so much because Disney Plus has it now, or you can watch on the CW, which either that you wait on Netflix, which they will get it, or you watch on the CW app if you're all on up to date.
Right, like if the licenses are
Yeah.
once the licenses are ready.
Hmm.
Have you been able to use Disney Plus? What's it like?
I have it with from a couple of people, or my friends, family, whatever. Just I haven't actually just got the chance to sit down and watch it because I really
Okay.
want to watch The Mandalorian. That's a one
And
show I keep on telling myself that I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I sit down and I just put it on Netflix, and I'm just like, damn it. And I just keep on shooting myself in the foot with that because like I just watch it or I see memes about Baby Yoda and I think it's so freaking cute. Even though I don't know the species, no one has to know the species yet. But that thing's gonna be called Baby Yoda. If anyone knows the species, please let me know because I would love to find out.
wait, what?
Like Yoda, like Yoda. No one
Uh-huh.
knows what his species is.
Right. Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
call it green thing or little green. It's
Little
weird
green. Why not little green?
because no,
Well, I mean, he stays little. He never really gets big, so
exactly.
yeah.
But not even that, but like, okay, so it's Baby Yoda. Even though he's not Baby Yoda, because Baby Yoda passed away, and Mandalorian, where it sets place, I think is in between 7 and 8, or
Wait,
even
Baby Yoda passed away?
no, Baby Yoda, just regular Yoda, passed away.
Okay. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Baby Yoda, like the time frame is different. Like the
Mhm.
past, like regular Yoda passed away, and then Baby Yoda came after in a couple more episodes.
Wait, what?
A couple like more like episodes 6 7 8 9 like all those episodes. The Mandalorian's in between like 7 and 8.
Wait, so the Mandalorian, right? Okay. When you say episodes, you're talking about the movies, the films.
Yes.
Mandalorian is a TV series out on Disney Plus that is a Star Wars series.
Yes.
Okay, cool, got it.
Okay, so you were confused on that. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I was confused on that.
Yeah. Yeah, The Mandalorian is on Disney Plus. You can watch it. It's their own show that they have.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I want to see that, but I
So,
don't have a
but you
Disney
all
Plus
right? So the
subscription.
Mandalorian's all it's about the Fets.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had heard that like there
Yeah,
was a TV show out about the Feds. So
but it's
yeah.
not like the whole family, but it's like the newer ones. But
Oh,
it's something you
okay.
just have to watch. But like I haven't watched it yet, so I
Well,
just want to.
I don't have a subscription, so we'll see if I can
You can figure a
get
way
that.
out.
Yeah.
Um, Set up a donation of GoFundMe of trying to get Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah. Go fund me. I need Disney Plus in Japan, please.
Please,
Fans,
seriously.
listeners, please provide me with this so I can give you an amazing 5-star review of the show here, right
And
here on Trading Van.
he will personally thank you with a warm handshake. Just a warm handshake.
Yeah, I can do that.
No, I just feel like, but like besides that, like with the Mandalorian or like the Disney Plus or like any streaming service that you can watch, it's just great because now you don't have to watch like instead of watching like go on cable and watch it, like you could just watch it anytime you want, and I feel like
Mhm.
that was the best thing because like
Yeah, streaming
TV
service
back
is
then
so great for that.
before DVR, it was if you missed it, you better hope that they could do a rerun of that
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. And you had to look at a TV guide to be like, are they gonna, you know?
Yep. Now and then the DVR came out and that was fantastic because like now you watch it, it's like okay, I'm not gonna be home, I'm gonna be working DVR, so when I get home I can watch it.
And fast
Great.
forward commercials.
Then now you have the streaming service that like it's either like I know how what Netflix do with the CW shows, like when the CW shows ends, Netflix gets it and all at once, so you can watch it whenever it's ready. So
Hmm. I didn't know that. So does CW have its own service, or are
yeah,
they?
you could watch it, but it's like if you don't pay for it, you have the free version. So like if I start watching it, I think like I can't watch like the first 4 episodes or the first 6 episodes, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to watch it kind of like when it's being released.
Yeah, or it gives you a buffer like a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
So yep. Sorry, it's a little bit.
No, all good, man. I'm tired too over here.
Mm-hmm.
But
What's
yeah,
it
I mean, I
called?
think we covered
No,
I think we covered a bunch of shows. Got anything
that's
else?
what I'm like. No, it's there's more shows I could talk about, but I can keep not droning on, but I can keep on talking about it because like TV shows just became such a big hit in American history, not even just America, like in the world, because like it basically you could sit down, have a community of watching this one show and talk about like different stuff of what's going on.
Yeah,
So that,
yeah. Not even
that
just shows, but also the news.
mm-hmm,
People using TV as a way to socially bond with other people.
uh-huh.
Like after work, they're like, "Oh, did you see, I Love Lucy or I don't know some other really old show."
Oh yeah, or they even like the John Wayne movies or the John Wayne stuff, like or the Indiana Jones and all that stuff. Like those are still like classics that people would still watch
Yeah,
because it was back then was the hit. Now you watch it, it's like, what is this? Like, oh my god, why is the action so bad?
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like, thank you guys
What
for.
about
Hmm?
what about that '70s show?
Oh my god,
Yeah, I love that show.
well, like those
I
like
think it's great.
sitcoms like we have, like it's just like like you can talk about like How I Met Your Mother, That's So
Yeah,
70
that too.
Show, The Big Bang, which I haven't watched the last season. I'm so pissed.
Big Bang
Um,
Theory.
yeah, and then you have like Young Sheldon that's coming up, but like Friends and Seinfeld, and that and the best part, like you made 2 shows that they came out, and then you have like these like is either that you love Friends or you love Seinfeld,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you love Seinfeld, you hated Friends
Hmm.
because the humor is two different kind of humors.
Yeah.
Seinfeld is more your dry humor, while Friends is like more like the upbeat, like ha, like kind of like the one-liners to each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, Seinfeld was the comedian of the group, and his jokes are really dry. Like if you didn't get it, you wouldn't get it at all
yeah,
because half the shows of his jokes. So,
yeah.
but besides that, like before we just keep on going on and on, I would like to cut it off because like it's
Okay.
the point of cutting it off. But
Yeah, yeah.
guys, comment, like, subscribe at Training Brains podcast.
Yes, please.
Leave a comment just showing like what kind of shows do you do like, or a show that we really need to talk about, or bring it up in the later future shows. I feel like we want to talk about different kind of shows and actually get the listeners involved with us. Um,
Yeah, and we'll revisit this topic for sure.
of course.
When we do, we'd like to have listeners your feedback. We'd
Mhm,
like to know what shows that you enjoyed, or if you know any of the shows that we talked about today.
mhm,
Just let us know, your favorite characters or favorite scenes about those shows. And again, we're going to do this episode again and
mhm,
maybe get into more detail about the shows that we're watching now,
mhm.
or
And
you know,
hopefully,
at
the
the point that
Mandalorian
we make the episode.
is on it.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'm sure you'll find a way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for listening.
thank you for listening, guys. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye bye.